There is a poem by Emily Dickinson that contains the lines, "The brain is wider than the sky, for put them side by side, the one the other will include with ease, and you beside." I doubt that Emily Dickinson's brain contained the sky you are seeing here. These are Hubble images, and Emily died in 1886. So, she not only died before the Hubble telescope went up, she died before Edwin Hubble was born. Our brains do not contain the sky. They only contain a model of the sky. After all, how could the human brain, a mere 3-pound mass of spongy tissue that resembles a lump of cold porridge, and that, like the porridge, is about 80% water, and which is made of the same atoms that constitute everything else in the universe, how could that be capable of actually containing the sky? We don't see the same sky that our ancestors did. A few thousand years ago, when the Sumerians and Babylonians looked up at the sky, they saw a solid dome, like a bowl turned upside down and placed over the world. So, what you see depends on what you think you know. Without some kind of model, some kind of theory of what you are looking at, then what you see would be nothing but a meaningless psychedelic swirl. This is because seeing is more about information processing than it is about image transmission, and science in our modern age has become a new way of seeing. Science has opened our eyes to worlds that our ancestors could never have guessed at. How could they have known, without a microscope, that a single drop of pond water contained an alien universe full of countless wonders? Emily Dickinson's next verse says, "The brain is deeper than the sea, for hold them blue to blue, the one the other will absorb, as sponges buckets do." Contain the sky? Absorb the depths of the sea? Indeed. Your brain cannot even contain all that is happening in one small drop of water. How arrogant and ignorant one would have to be to think that your brain could contain such vast things, which is probably the real point of the poem. The real trick to seeing is knowing what to look for. And this brings us to the last lines of the poem. "The brain is just the weight of God, for lift them pound for pound, and they will differ, if they do, as syllable from sound." At first, she seems to be saying that if I can contain and surpass the sky and sea just by looking at them and thinking about them, then I must also contain and even surpass God in the same way. But she dared not complete that thought. Instead, she said that they might differ. So, either her brain contains and encompasses God and the sky and the sea, or she has a potentially inaccurate idea of God, only some model or theory of what she thinks God is, and that with no reliable data like we have about the sky and sea. The microscope and the telescope made our old view of the universe, scaled to human proportion, populated with invisible spirits and demons, and crowned by a perfect heaven, doubtful. The universe was far larger and stranger than the ancients imagined, and our place in it far smaller than they had imagined. And we all, even the most science-denying creationist, now take for granted that science has changed our view of the universe and of ourselves forever. And it is still changing.